Marcel, welcome.
Thank you.
You're on the advisory board of Ecochem with many other leaders from the sector. And I wondered, do you have some recipe for success for companies looking to commercialise in this sector?
Well, I don't know about the recipe for success, but we have some early learnings that I would like to share. But it's also something that I always seek dialogue about because it's not that we have all the wisdom,
right.
But of course we've burned our fingers one or two times, and I think we have some good lessons that we have collected and that can be of good use, that have proven to be of good use for us in developing the bio-based economy for DSM, but also for others. And I think it starts all with biomass. Biomass is really important. I mean, you can have the best technology, but if your biomass is not sustainable and it is not cost competitive, then you're in a bad position.
Right.
So, and by agreeing on long-term contracts or being backward integrated into these biomass, that is generally the way of getting control over biomass, because biomass is the key. I touched upon it, conversion technology, also very important. Not all conversion technologies work with each biomass, so you want to look for specific combinations that make you competitive. I think conversion technologies, use of yeast and enzymes, are specifically DSM's core strength. So that's really, I think, where our strength is. Then, of course, business model and financial muscle, and especially the relationship between those two. You can aspire to big things, but you should have the financial muscle to back it up. And if you don't have that, you should be more creative in the business model that you choose. I think it's true for startups, but it's equally true for larger corporations like DSM. And also, we have chosen for some really bulk chemical commodities, even if they're bio-based, we've opted for a demo and license model, whereas with some other more specific specialty niche sort of bio-based chemicals, we want to produce and sell that ourselves.
So those are some of the success factors. How do you feel about challenges? What kind of challenges are faced by players in this market?
Okay, I think the most important one is risk, financial risk. We're competing with people that have developed petrol-based processes over the last 40 or 50 years. So they've come down the learning curve tremendously. And what we are trying to do as an industry, as a bio-based industry, is trying to be at the same level in 10 to 20 years. So that requires big investments. And in order to recoup those investments, you've got to be pretty sure about your business case. So, and when you talk about dealing with the risk and what are the main risks, you want to really make true that your business case that you dreamed up on the first day, that really comes true. And so you want to de-risk everything which is in your business sheet. And I think one of the most important ones are offtake. You got to be sure that once you produce, and because that's already a magnificent achievement, but once you produce, you got to be able to sell. So you got to take that risk off the table. You got to be sure that you're long-term integrated into the backward integrated into the biomass, either by long-term contracts or by backward integration. You got to have the best technology. You got to be realistic about your business model, and you got to find the right partners, because finding the right partner is also a great way to de-risk your ventures, because this is complicated. It's creating new value chains. It's not something that anybody can probably do by his own.
And it's not enough just to be new. You've got to deliver on so many different levels.
Absolutely, and that's another thing. I mean, if we are not capable of producing additional benefits, then bio-based will not save you. It has to go hand in hand.
Bio-based alone is not enough.
Exactly. Yeah. It has to be a combination of performance, new benefits for customers, together with bio-based. That is the winning formula.
Do you think that the industry right now is managing to deliver on all of those, or is that a work in progress?
I think most of us begin to understand that combination is really key. I have the luxury that in my own company I have business units that actually are potential buyers for what I make.
Right.
They keep me straight, and they talk to me about benefits, what it should have, and that helps me to shape my proposition also for clients outside of DSM.
Yeah. And I think credibility is really important as well when we look at how we position these products and how we market and communicate on them, to be responsible and transparent and credible. And you have your business units keeping you real on that. But I think for the whole industry, it's important that we move forward in a credible way.
Yeah, that's also true. I think we need to create a culture where we are delivering on our promise. So if we say we start up in Q1, then we start up in Q1. And I don't think the industry benefits from stories, rumors that will not materialize. I think that is not helpful for any of us.
It's not a solid base for the industry to grow on.
Exactly.
Do you feel that there's enough understanding with, say, the value chain about the benefits of sustainable chemistry, or is there still some work to be done to educate and raise awareness?
Yeah, I think there's still some work to be done. This morning in the session that I was featuring in, also Coca-Cola made a fantastic presentation, I think, about the plant bottle. I think that, to me, is an excellent example of how they work with consumers, how they perfected the value proposition of plant bottle, and I think it will take many more of these examples to really create that pool.
It's a powerful story for consumers as well.
Exactly, but that's where it starts. It starts with consumers, and then all the way down the chain to people like DSM that are either into the polymers, compounds, or also into chemicals. But it starts with the consumer, and it starts with awareness. Absolutely.
I think what's really interesting about this industry is how much cooperation and collaboration we see, whether it's through open innovation, joint ventures, partnerships. And at DSM you also have a number of examples of this collaborative approach to developing the sector.
Exactly. I think you need partners, but you also need to learn how to work with partners.
Right.
Because if you're not doing that well, we've said at an early stage, partnerships needs to be a key competence of DSM, just as technology is. And if you don't do that, then a partnership becomes a burden, because then you will only experience the negative sides of partnerships, which is sometimes extended decision trajectories and so forth. But if you organize it well and you empower a joint venture that you both create, then your decision making can be quick. And I think that's what you should aspire for, to really empower those joint ventures that you create together, and make them suitable to capture that market success.
Do you have any advice for companies looking at going in on joint ventures?
Yeah, you gotta really spend time on a shared vision. That is extremely important. That's where it starts with. Do you see the world in a comparable way? Can you agree on what you do together? Can you agree on what you both brought in together? Does that match, or does there need to be compensation? Is it a fair start? And you need to agree on what you develop together. But also you need to agree on, and you need to do that early, when would be the time to say goodbye. Because there is an end to a joint venture, and if you don't think about that, exit strategy is extremely important. Then you find yourself locked, and you don't want to do that. So you got to think about that whole trajectory.
And the partners need to be complementary as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. You need to clearly map out the skills that you need to make your venture a success, and then see what partner best fits them.
What have you been speaking about here at Ecochem?
Well, I mean. You mean this morning in my presentation? Yeah. Well, very much about the key success factors that we touched on that we just touched on, and that we came to learn in our adventure in Biobase. So that was, I think, the heart of the conversation.
And how are you finding the show so far?
I think it's great. I was talking with Andy Shaver of Elephants this morning, and yeah, we were jointly quite impressed about what the organization has put together.
Yeah.
I think it is probably the biggest show in Europe now. It's and you go out there immediately with a big blast, talking about risk taking. I think it's really good.
Yeah, I think everyone is here.
Yeah, and it's also a very complete show if you look from the value chain perspective.
Right.
All people are there, and I think it's a great event. I'm looking forward to the rest.
All right, well, Marcel Lubben, thank you so much.
Okay, good, thanks.